Alright, it's been 3 days since the last time I did this. Alright, give me a second. Just getting everything ready on my end. Or everything else. Alright, so yeah, it's been 3 days since the last time I did this. And before I talk about everything that transpired the past 3 days, I first want to talk about a video that posted recently that I'm going to link down below. And if you're a fan of Oshinoko like I am, I highly recommend watching this, because this video by Munchie Weeb basically goes through the first 2 seasons of the show. He basically broke down both seasons much better than I ever could, and I highly recommend giving it a watch if you've seen the show and if you want a quick and swift breakdown of it. Or, rather if you didn't watch the show but you still want a breakdown. So yeah, highly recommend it. Did a much better job breaking down the first 2 seasons than I ever did. I gotta say, a couple jokes in the video were pretty funny, I will admit. Like the moment in the video, the moment where Aqua saved Akane from jumping off the bridge is just like clutch victory. You just had that Valorant victory. I thought that was pretty funny. So this person is very much Team Kana, very much ships Kana with Aqua. I, for one hand, ships Akane with Kana. What? Ships Akane with Aqua, not Kana. Oh my god, their names are all so similar. And then, yep, he does indeed bring up the very small minority that is, Ruby shippers. And then there was one line in the video that really hit home. It's like, and then here's Akane, the girlfriend that all of you guys wish you had. It's like, well, yeah, I can't disagree. I can't lie. I do wish I had a girlfriend like Akane, smart, attractive, actually puts up with me, sympathizes with me. Although, who am I kidding? As if anyone out there would ever see the struggles and hardships I've been through as anything but invalid. So yeah, highly recommend giving it a watch. I'll link it down below. So yeah, aside from that, let me see here. Alright, so let me show you everything I've gotten the past 3 days. Alright, so because the last time I played this was 3 days ago. 2 days ago, I first caught a Hundo Slowpoke, and then I got this shiny costume Butterfree. What's funny is, my friend was standing right next to me as this thing happened. I figured, let me just walk over, do the Butterfree raid, and then my friend standing right next to me saw the sparkles with me. And then I got the shiny Attack Deoxys, the form I wanted shiny the most, aside from just the regular form. So this was 2 days ago. Yesterday, I caught this shiny Skitty out of nowhere. And then yesterday night, I went out with friends. I didn't catch this. This was actually traded to me. And then, you know, the trade turned out to be 98 IV. This Skorupi was actually from the very first ever Pokemon Go Safari. So this Skorupi is in a Safari Ball. And then earlier today was Shadow Ho-Oh Raid Day. I got a shiny out of the first raid, and then I caught this in the wild. And then earlier tonight during dinner, I got a shiny costume Curlia. It's such a shame that it's a male. And, well, there's all the shinies I've gotten in Pokemon Go recently. Oops, that's right. Aside from that, if I show you real quick... Well, it's already spoiled, but whatever. I finally got the male shiny Sneasel. So there's the female, there's the male for the gender difference, and then because Sneasler doesn't have a gender difference, doesn't matter. So I finally finished this hunt. And then, I suppose because the world felt bad for me for how long this took, I already got one of 2 shiny Hisuian Zoruas. Let me show you real quick. So, the first shiny Sneasel, I got... Well, I hatched it 3rd of January. To get a male, it took out until the 17th. And then, tell me if that makes sense. So yeah, there you go. There's all the shinies I've gotten recently. So yes, today was Shadow Ho-Oh Raid Day with higher shiny chances and higher IV pool. So today would have been a very good day to potentially get a Shadow Shundo Ho-Oh. I decided not to, you know, go over and beyond, go crazy raiding for it. Even though today the daily raid pass limit was 20. I didn't feel like spending, you know, buttloads of money to try to get, you know, a Shundo Shadow Ho-Oh. Because remember, folks, to this day, out of all the raids I've done in Pokemon Go, never once have I ever gotten a Hundo of any kind from a raid. The closest I've gotten is a Shadow Zapdos that, if purified, would be a Hundo. That's like the closest I've ever gotten. Well, I suppose, you know, I've gotten 98 IVs from raids as well. But yeah, never to this day have I ever gotten a Hundo from a raid, ever. So yeah, also because recently I've just been spending mountains and mountains of money to try to get the shiny Deoxys. I really just wanted the attack form shiny, but because right now the defense form is also in raids and can be shiny. Well, I already have the normal form shiny. I now have the attack form shiny. I may as well try to get all 4. So yeah, I'm spending oodles of money right now trying to get these Deoxys forms shiny. So, since I got the shiny Ho-Oh, the shiny Shadow Ho-Oh, very first raid, I figured, I don't really feel like spending money for this. I'd much rather save my money for the Deoxys. I did, however, do just one remote raid, since I had one remote raid pass with me. Well, all day I only got one shiny Shadow Ho-Oh, which, you know, I'm thankful for. I'll just take it. I'll take the one and be happy with it. Yep, that's basically all the shinies I've gotten recently. I also was looking into, you know, potentially getting a brand new phone. Brand new iPhone. Because my current iPhone model is iPhone XR, so basically iPhone 10. What was that? What was the name of that song again? Well, that's not exactly the song I'm thinking of. Is that what the song's called? Iwatodai Dorm? Is that what it's called? Huh, I guess it is. So yeah, I was looking into getting a new iPhone since my iPhone XR. I'm gonna be fully honest with you guys. In all honesty, I don't need a new phone. It functions fine, you know. Everything's fine, and I looked into my phone's settings and stuff. Out of the 256 gigabytes it has, I still have like, actually, I have a screenshot. Hold on, let me pull it up for my own reference. Let's see. Okay, here it is. Yeah, I have the iPhone XR. Out of 256 gigabytes, I still have 32.62 gigabytes available. And I've been using this phone for like 7 to 8 years. So, much to my surprise, I still have a lot of space available. Especially considering the fact that I have 53,000 photos. 2,000 videos, and 120 applications. I have 53,000 photos on my phone, and I still have 32 gigabytes available. So yeah, like, in all honesty, like, legitimately all honesty, I don't need a new phone. You know, it still works fine. I mean, what do I really do with my phone, right? I make calls with it, I watch YouTube on it, and I play Pokemon Go. Like, you know, that's the top 3 main reasons why I use my phone. You know, it works fine. It still has a lot of storage. So, why am I looking into getting a new phone? Well, legitimately the only reason, just because Pokemon Go lags a lot. I know, that's a terrible reason to buy a brand new phone. Especially when I, truly, honest to God, do not need a new phone. I still have plenty of space. Everything else on the phone works fine. You know, it's literally just Pokemon Go that's lagging, making the game damn near impossible to play. That's the only reason why I'm considering getting a brand new iPhone. If not for Pokemon Go, I absolutely would not need a new phone for, like, I don't know, 3 more years, 5 more years. Am I really considering buying an entirely new cellular iPhone just for the sake of playing a Pokemon mobile game? Yes. Well, not really. It's like, aside from that idiotic reason, I suppose it would genuinely be nice to actually just have a new phone, you know? Though I don't need one, per se. It's not an absolute necessity that I get a brand new phone. And you know, looking at the prices for currently the most updated phone at this moment, which is an iPhone 16, if I get like an iPhone 16 Pro with, let's say, 1 terabyte of space, that alone will cost me like, you know, everything all together, that'll cost me like $2,500. $2,500. Why do I need a terabyte of space? Honestly, I don't really need that much space. You know, for like 7 to 8 years, I've had 256 gigabytes worth of space, and it turns out I still have like more than 30 gigabytes of space left. So 7 to 8 years, I haven't even, you know, touched all 256 gigabytes. Why the hell do I need 1 terabyte of space? In all honesty, I don't. You know, if I simply just do double that, 500 something gigabytes, that's more than enough to last me a decade. Since 256 gigabytes lasted me 7 to 8 years, and realistically, could last me another couple of years. So why am I looking at a terabyte of space? Well, you never know, right? You never know. You have to consider the fact that, well, a brand new phone, let's say I use that new phone for a decade, for literally 10 years. I've been using my current phone for 7 to 8. That's pretty close. It's not exactly up to a decade just yet, but it is pretty close. And in all honestly, I could last a couple more years. Just simply endure Pokemon Go lagging like crazy. I honestly could make it 10 years without switching into a new phone. Like, realistically, actually. So, 1 terabyte of space lasting me a decade, well, you know, it's like, better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it, right? So, you know, 10 years down the line and I haven't even scratched a quarter of the space, well, then that'd be a huge waste of money. And you might be, you know, some people might actually be asking me, why the hell do you have 53,000 photos on your phone? What could you possibly have that is so many? What do you possibly take so many photos of? Well, the main things I take pictures of are my dogs, screenshots of Pokemon Go shinies, and, you know, there's also the fact that ever since Elon Musk took over Twitter, it has been a complete cesspool of pornography, and, well, let's just say a lot of what I like is saved. Yeah, you do not want to scroll through my photos, let's say that. So yeah, just putting that out there, looking into a new phone, even though I really don't need one. And you know what else? Because literally everything I have is very much outdated, my phone, at this point, let's say the Nintendo Switch, since Switch 2 is coming out later on this year, my phone's outdated. Well, I bought a new PC, so that one doesn't count. But like the only two things that I use majority, not for gaming, are my phone and my laptop, and both are outdated. I got my phone halfway into high school, and I got my laptop before high school. I got my laptop for high school use. And ever since high school, ever since the start of high school, I've been using that laptop. These days, it's literally, and I'm not kidding you, like literally, legitimately falling apart. So I don't want to move it around as much. So these days, what I do is I leave it at work, just so I don't have to transport it from work to home all the time. And, you know, I clearly can't take my brand new PC with me on trips, like the Japan and Hong Kong trip I'm going in like a month and a half. I'm very afraid that, well, I bring my laptop with me, it won't survive the trip. And you know, like I said, I got this laptop before high school started, and at this point I've graduated college, albeit failed 3 times, which just adds to the argument, because I prolonged my college stay. So it's like, yeah, my laptop is very outdated, and also actually falling apart. It may not survive the trip I have coming up. So, you know, maybe it's time I also get a brand new laptop. Do I desperately need one? No, because I now have a PC at home. A brand new laptop would just to be, you know, for me to use at work. And, you know, say travel. But, you know, it's like everything I have is outdated, but I don't really need a replacement. I don't really need something brand new to replace it. You know, I haven't used my iPad in like a decade since the battery on it is fried, and I don't think it can be fixed. So, you know, I've never needed a new iPad, right? In terms of, like, internet, you know, I seem to be living in the Stone Ages. My phone's outdated, my laptop's outdated. I mean, did you expect anything else from the guy who doesn't even have AirPods? So, yeah, looking into new phone. The idea of me getting a brand new laptop is floating around in the air. Oh, you know what? I'm paranoid. Let me stop this for a second. Okay, yes, there is sound. Good. I'm paranoid. Is there even sound being picked up? Yes, there is. Good. Otherwise, I would have said all this for nothing. So yeah, tossing around the ideas of getting a new phone, a new laptop, which are expensive. You know, the things I'm looking into getting these days are expensive. And then, you know, my coworker, because he got a new job recently at a car dealership, he's tossing around the idea, do you need a new car? Again, honestly, do I need a new car? No. Would it be nice to have a new car? Yes. Do I need a new car? No. Is the one I'm currently using outdated? Yes. Does it serve its function? Yes. You know, it's like everything of mine that's outdated, it would be nice to have something new, something updated, but do I need one? No. Honestly, no. But you know, that time will come at some point where I will need something brand new. I will need to replace the old stuff for brand new stuff. So, yeah, the other night my friends came over, we discussed our plans for a trip. Right now, it seems like we're finalizing the idea of going to Japan in July as a group. So, you know, that idea is being thrown out there. It's gonna be like over $2,000 per person. Oh, lots of money being spent this year. Well, last night my friends and I we went out to get ramen for dinner. We went to this restaurant I never been to before, and I gotta say, you know, it's the ramen I ate kinda wasn't for me. On paper, there's nothing wrong with it. It's not like it was terrible. It was just mad expensive, and the flavor combination kinda didn't match with me. Because the way they served it, the noodles have already been fried. Not deep fried, but like, you know, stir fried, I guess, like fried in a pan with oil, right? With a little bit of flavor. And then on the side, you know, they put a bowl of the fried noodles, fried ramen noodles with flavor, and they put on the side a bowl of broth, of soup. So you can either eat it separately, you can either eat it as, you know, a bowl of fried noodles with soup on the side, or you can combine it for your typical, you know, ramen in soup. I combined it, the flavors just kind of didn't work together. You know, there's a reason you don't fry the noodles before you put it into soup. You know, you can eat it however you want. You can eat it separately, or you can eat it together. I chose to pour the soup into my noodles and eat it together. That was not a good call. I know, perhaps if I ate it separately, it would have been better. I mean, I'm not against going back and trying other stuff, you know? But it's just like, well, what I had last night, while decent, just didn't really work for me. Me personally, fried noodles just don't go good in the soup. Though that's just me. Also yesterday, on my way to go out with friends, I slipped twice. Yesterday in the morning, it was warm enough to rain, and then throughout the day it got cold enough to where all the rain on the floor turned into ice, very slippery ice. So the moment I arrived at, at the parking lot to meet up with my friends for dinner, the moment I stepped foot outside my car, I slipped and fell. I parked right next to my friends. Just as they were getting out the car, I was warned, yo, be careful, it's mad slippery. Literally as I was hearing that, I stepped foot outside my car and I slipped. And then after dinner, we walked around for a bit. We drove over to the nearby McDonald's to sit down and chill for a bit. After it was time for us to leave, we were all getting back into our cars and ready to go home. as I walked up to my car, I slipped again. Only this time, oh, I really hurt myself. This time, the second time I slipped, I fell right onto my knee, my left knee, and damn does it hurt now. Okay, what other song can I listen to? Oh yeah, something I forgot to mention. That video I have linked down below, the Oshinoko video, I actually commented on it. I put a comment on it saying, you know, the loophole that I thought of. Yeah, let's see how well that ages. I highly doubt the loophole Akane found that I thought of is gonna be the case. You guys remember the Pokemon episode from, like, what was it, season 1? The only reason I remember is because, well, the Pokemon TV YouTube channel has been posting older Pokemon episodes like crazy these days. Let's see, which episode was it? Pokemon TV. It was the one where they were on the SS Anne. Let's see here. It was season 1, episode 15 of Pokemon. God, season 1. So the episode of, you know, battle aboard the Saint Anne? It's not SS Anne? Okay. Whatever. Episode 15 of season 1. Remember that episode where Ash traded away his Butterfree and then he wanted it back? I completely forgot the end of the episode. The damn boat sank. The cruise liner literally sank. And then, if I'm not mistaken, Ash, Misty, and Brock, they were knocked out on the boat. On the sinking boat. And then the episode just ends. And then next episode, you know, we just cut back to them alive and well on dry land. So, not only did I forget that, one, Ash Ketchum was on a sinking cruise ship at some point. Not only did I forget that, wow, he forgot about it too, because, you know, you kind of don't ever forget about that kind of experience. But yeah, not only was Ash Ketchum on a sinking cruise line, but that the fact that they also just ended the episode without telling us, well, how the hell did they survive? How'd they get off the goddamn boat? Because the end of the episode, well, the captain of the ship just got onto a life raft himself, ditching all the passengers. Ash, Brock, and Misty, I think, were knocked unconscious on the ship. And then the entire cruise ship sank. How'd they get off? Yeah, I kind of completely forgot about that. I forgot Ash Ketchum was once on a sinking cruise ship. Wow. I don't know, maybe a Whale Lord helped him out, even though Whale Lords weren't a thing in Season 1. Or maybe literally 2 episodes prior where the giant Pokemon, you know, Mystery at the Lighthouse, that episode, maybe they got help from them. Or, I don't know, these guys are just gods in disguise, and after the ship went down, a big beaming light shined up from the bottom of the ocean. These guys ascended and just hovered back to land. So, if anyone like me forgot, yeah, ain't that crazy to think Ash Ketchum was on a sinking cruise ship, and he somehow survived and never talked about it again. Though I suppose there's a lot of things in the first, or not the first, but the early seasons of Pokemon that we just don't discuss. We just do not talk about, because they make no sense. Remember the episode where there was a bunch of pink Pokemon? Or remember that mystery water Pokemon Misty was chasing in her dream that looked like a Mega Gyarados? Yeah, we just don't talk about that stuff. Pokemon will re-upload the episode, but they just won't discuss it. They won't clarify what that was. Oh yeah, quick little mention. That Shadow Shiny Ho-Oh I caught earlier today, if purified, would be a 98 IV. Trying to think, is there anything else for me to mention before I talk about the shows? Because today we have The Boys, Arcane, and one episode of Secret Level to discuss. Now, I didn't watch the next episode of Beast Games just yet, because I flat out forgot. I think it's out. Probably have it watched for next time. Is there anything else for me to talk about before... Oh, yeah. All the shenanigans with TikTok. Well, TikTok was banned in the US for, like, a day. And then Trump, yeah, he brought it back. I'm not gonna lie, Is it bad if I say I was kind of rooting for TikTok to be banned? I know a lot of people are gonna be offended by that. Where are you gonna get your source of brain rot and attention-destroying content now? I mean, that's primarily the reason why I was kind of hoping TikTok would be banned. Because, you know, the amount of brain rot and destroyed attention spans thanks to that app. And let's not forget all the stupid shit people do and think it's a good idea to post online. You know, you got your idiots like Jack Doherty, Johnny Somali. What the hell was that guy's name again who bug sprayed the food at Walmart? I don't even remember his name. So it's like, I feel like it would just be a net positive for humanity. Or at least just the citizens of America. If TikTok was banned. So it's like, I'm sorry if you're offended that, you know, your quote-unquote content source, or, you know, for a couple people out there, for, not even a couple, for lots of people out there, TikTok is your source of income. To that I say, have a backup plan. Like, are you serious? Actually consider a backup plan if you've never thought about it. So yeah, it's like, well, I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of hoping TikTok would indeed be banned. And I'm not gonna lie, I've only seen TikTok be a problem in America. You don't see TikTok's, you know, home of origin, China, you don't see Chinese citizens do stupid shit on TikTok and post it. Or maybe they do and we just don't really see it very much here. We see our own idiots over here. You know, I also don't really see much of a problem with TikTok in Canada. You don't see a lot of Canadian citizens do absolutely outlandish shit. It's also good to note that the US TikTok ban was just America. TikTok worked perfectly fine up here in Canada. I don't use the app myself. I have it just in case. Just in case of what? Well, just in case it gets banned, gets taken off the App Store, or, you know, every now and then, one of the very attractive content creators posts something new. Some people like Pokimane. So it's like, I don't use the app really at all. Every now and then I'll just glance at it, but I don't use it actively, you know? I actively do not want my attention span destroyed. Otherwise, I won't even be able to watch like a 10-minute episode of a show without complaining it's long. So yeah, the TikTok app was indeed banned in the US for a day. And then, you know, President Trump, yeah, he brought it back. Which, speaking of which, if I'm not mistaken, today is Trump's inauguration day. Like today, Trump officially takes office for his second term. The 19th of January. What? No, isn't it 20th? What am I talking about? I was hearing Sunday, which is today. Well, I guess tomorrow on the 20th would be his first day officially in office, I guess. I don't know, that's American politics, doesn't affect me. Well, that does mean that President Joe Biden, well, it's Jover. He's done. He's gone. Well, 4 years of Biden have come and gone. Not gonna lie, it was a funny shit show to watch. So yeah, TikTok was banned and now is back. Now, Moist Critical actually did make a very valid point that I never considered. And let's face it, it was probably very obvious, I just didn't think about it. He was saying how it's cute that you would think just because TikTok is getting banned means, you know, the world is healing. Because if TikTok were to be permanently banned, everyone would just flock to something new. You know, they would go to, like, that new TikTok imitation app. I think by the same company, Red Note. People were already flocking over there in preparation for the app's banning. So, like, yeah, I guess that is true. Just because TikTok gets banned, it doesn't mean... You know, it doesn't mean brain rot will be reversed. It doesn't mean attention spans will suddenly grow back to what it was. It doesn't mean we'll be healed, you know? And it's like, damn, that's actually a shame, but that's true. If TikTok were gone, it really wouldn't solve anything. Something new would just come up and take its place. It's like, fuck! Well... Oh well, the world around you wants to burn itself down, what can you really do? If TikTok wants to stay, and everyone using it wants to make me lose even more faith in humanity by the day, what am I gonna do to stop it, right? At the end of the day, I live my life, I don't use TikTok, I don't have my brain rotted or my attention span destroyed, I don't worry about everyone around me who does use it. I live my life, and that's all that really matters. Is there anything else to discuss before we talk about the shows? Oh yeah, aside from TikTok, it turns out, what, CapCut was also blocked? I never used it before, but I certainly have seen other videos online be produced by it, be made with its aid. Strange times we're living in. So, because I'm almost done my Hisuian forms hunt, and thank God for that, the Sneasel took a very long time, I am sick and tired of seeing Sneasels. I have seen so many Sneasels the past 3 weeks. You know, I bred for it nonstop, and Fashion Week in Pokemon Go, I got a handful of shiny costume Sneasels in Pokemon Go. I am sick and tired of seeing Sneasels. So thank God that hunt is over. That was the most problematic hunt of this challenge. Every Hisuian form in Strange Balls in PLA, meaning they have to be caught in another game. And the only game available to do so right now is Scarlet and Violet, not counting Pokemon Go. So yeah, now that the Sneasel hunt is over, I am actually almost done with the overall Hisuian form challenge. I just need one more Hisuian Zorua, and then after that everything will be just outbreak hunts. Unless I'm misremembering for White Stripe Basculin. I'm pretty sure you can hunt that in an outbreak. So, the things remaining that I need to hunt after Zorua, after the second Zorua, White Stripe Basculin, Goomy, a Bergmite, and I think that's it. Let me look up a list of the Hisuian forms again. Alright, so yeah. The Hisuian Growlithe line is done, Hisuian Voltorb line is done, I already have Hisuian Typhlosion. Hisuian Quillfish line is done, Hisuian Sneasel line is done, already have Hisuian Samurott, already have Hisuian Lilligant. I just need one more Hisuian Zoroark. Well, Zorua for Zoroark. I already have Hisuian Braviary. I need to hunt Sliggoo and Goodra. Avalugg. I already have Hisuian Decidueye. Yeah. Oh yeah, Basculin too. So yeah, I just have 3 hunts to go for in outbreaks. I need 2 Goomies, 1 Bergmite, and 3 White Stripe Basculins. If it turns out I can't catch them in the wild and I need to breed for them again, well shit. It's gonna be worse than the Sneasels. Because with Sneasel, at least it's a noticeable shiny. The shiny for White Stripe Basculin sucks. So I've decided after I'm done these Hisuian hunts, what I'm going to do next, just like a one-off hunt, is I'm going to go for a shiny Milotic in BDSP. Now, I sure as hell am not going to do it legitimately. You know, you go into that one cave, out of like, what, 50 tiles, only 4 of them spawn Feebas, and they change and randomize every single day. Fuck that. You also have to consider the broken shiny charm in BDSP, meaning it would be a full odds hunt. Oh, hell no. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to breed for it. I'm going to Masuda method breed for it. And you know me, I specifically go for female shiny Feebas. Because, you know, Milotic, I would prefer it to be female. So yeah, that's the hunt I'm going to do after I'm done all these Hisuian shits. Is go for a shiny, female, Feebas, Masuda method in my Brilliant Diamond. Oh, you know what? That reminded me. I was about to say. So, I finally got the male shiny Sneasel not long ago. Actually, I think I got it... yeah, 2 days ago. I got it on the 17th. Today's the 19th. So, I honestly was about to just change it up. I was actually about to change over to my Scarlet game and see, you know, what the RNG be talking about on that game, because the RNG clearly hated me on my Violet game. Picnics upon picnics, days after days, nothing. So it's like, you know what? It doesn't really matter which game I get them in. Let me try my Scarlet game, see if the RNG treats me better on that. Just as I was about to give up and actually switch over to try, well, then I got the male shiny Sneasel. So, nice. Oh, you know what I forgot to mention? The video I have linked down below pointed out something I didn't even notice. We all know that by the end of Oshinoko Season 2, you know, now Ruby is put on the path of vengeance, the stars in her eyes have gone black. I didn't even notice that the star in Aqua's eye is gone. I didn't even notice that. You know, I wonder if in-universe characters actually see a legitimate star in these characters' eyes, or if it's just, you know, visualization for us, the audience. Because, like, is anyone about to say, hey, Ruby, the stars in your eyes have turned black, what's going on? Or, like, you know, hey, Aqua, you had a star in your right eye, now it's gone, what's up? It's like, I don't know if there is actually in-universe seeing stars in their eyes, or if it's just a visual representation for us, the audience, to see. Okay, what else can I listen to? Hmm. You know, earlier tonight we went out for dinner. We ate at those, those dirty ass Chinese food courts that I never like eating at. We ate at one of those, and we had some Vietnamese food. I like Vietnamese food. And then after dinner, we went grocery shopping, and then, came home. I once again had to remove yet another tonsil stone this morning. I've been getting a lot of those recently. And, it's like they keep showing up on the exact same spot in my throat. It's almost like, I don't know, maybe there's a divot in that spot that, bacteria and food get caught in and then form tonsil stones. It's kind of like your belly button, how that's a divot. How lint and other stuff get trapped in there. It's like, that's what I'm thinking. Is there a divot in my throat that stuff just naturally get caught up in and then form tonsil stones? Because it's the exact same spot every time. And it's been happening frequently, too. Like, this morning I had to remove it again. Oh yeah, you want to know what happened last night? So last night, after I slipped and hit my knee, I was driving home at the red light. I was just sitting in the car waiting for it. Because my lips were dry, I was licking my lips. And not even lightly, too. I was licking all around my lips, trying to moisten it up. I turned my head. I looked at the other car. The person in the other car looked back at me, just looking at me, licking my lips all over, just making eye contact. I turned my head like, whoops, probably should not have turned my head. Okay, whatever you do, just look straight. Do not look back at that guy. Do not turn your head and try to be like, that was awkward. So yeah, that was awkward. I just mistakenly turned my head as I was licking my lips aggressively. And then, the dude in the car next to me looked back at me. Looked me in the eyes as I was licking my lips. Well, now that we're basically an hour into this, let's talk about these shows real quick. So, The Boys Season 2, I believe episode 4? I already lost count. Yeah, episode 4. Alright, so, the storylines that happened in this episode. This was actually a pretty long episode. I think this was like an hour and 8 minutes. This episode did consist of, a lot of moments where characters were just talking. You know me, I have no problems with those moments as long as they're written well, acted well, you actually feel for the characters, if they actually lead to something. Because, character depth. So I had no problem watching just, two characters on screen doing nothing but just talking. I would not be surprised, however, if a certain someone thought this episode was boring as shit. And actually, before I talk about the episode itself, I have to say, I gotta put my hands up and say, I'm a little disappointed so far by, the gore in this show. I was expecting far more violent. I was expecting far, far more, bloody, violent moments. And the moments with gore in it, it's like, meh. It's not that bad. I've seen worse. I've literally seen worse. So, it's like, I was warned before the show, like, bro, some of the gore is gonna be a little too much for you. It's just like, seriously? After everything I've seen, really? That statement has a lot to live up to. And so far, what I've seen, it's like, it's not that bad. Compared to what I've seen already on TV, it's like, it's not that bad. I've seen worse. A lot of the stuff I've seen so far doesn't make me squeamish, doesn't make me like, oh my god, that was so much to take in. It's like, so far, the worst moment I've seen in The Boys, so far, like the most difficult to watch gore moment was when Becca was giving birth and then, the baby was clawing its way out of her and then blood was pouring out. That was the most gruesome moment in the show so far. And turns out, that wasn't even real. It was fake. Because that was a fabrication, a lie made up told to Homelander. And the scene was shot just to convey it to the audience. So it didn't even happen. So far, I have to say I'm a little disappointed by the gore, the violence. I was expecting more. Now, hopefully, there's going to be more. Hopefully, there's going to be really bloody, gory, violent moments that really make me squeamish. Really make me like, oh my god. Oh, I can never watch that scene again. It was too much for me. Really hoping moments like that are coming up, because I have to say, I admit it, I'm a little disappointed. I was hoping for more. I still have yet to see the scene where Homelander uses his heat vision and completely mows down a crowd. Even though I think that's a scene in his mind, like he imagined that playing out. Which, I think I've seen that clip online, and it's like, that alone's still not that bad. Right? Not that bad. So the episode, let's see, the episode opens up. The episode opens up with a woman just talking about her relationship. And I'm just like, what the fuck? That was random. We don't find out what those are about until the end of the episode, because we get those sprinkled in throughout the episode, and, they make no sense. We find out what they are at the very end, which I gotta say, that's like really bizarre pacing, really bizarre structuring for the episode. I don't think I've ever seen an episode structured like this before. And I gotta say, I don't think I like it. It was not a great way to structure the episode. Every now and then, a random clip of a woman pops up and she's just talking about her ideal relationship or her past relationship. I gotta say, that's like one of the poorest structuring of an episode I've ever seen. Because, it's just off-putting. You're knee-deep into the plot, you're invested, and then out of nowhere, this random clip of an unknown, unnamed, never-before-seen woman shows up. It's like, what is this storyline? It's just appearing throughout the episode, and it means nothing to the plot. Like, the structure for this one was terrible. Only for this storyline, though. Everything else was fine. it's just this particular storyline that involves the women showing up out of nowhere. That was terrible. Ugh. Well, we see Frenchie doing a line of the, the good quality Colombian, that fresh, fluffy snow, a line of that fantastic cocaine, the word that YouTube doesn't like. So we see Frenchie doing a line, and then, he's high off of his mind. He tries to comfort Kimiko, who just lost her brother, and then he kisses her. Which, I can't lie, it definitely feels like, throughout the show so far, they're definitely, pressing, or not really pressing, they're definitely pushing Frenchie and Kimiko being a thing. Even though I thought Frenchie was already spoken for. I thought that woman he was with when we first met him, I thought they were an item. So, it was kind of weird to me, like, why is the show, throughout the duration of the show, they're constantly pushing Frenchie and Kimiko. There were moments in this episode. Talking about other scenes now, other storylines. So, the storyline of Butcher, he goes to that, memorial site where where Stormfront completely destroyed that apartment building, leaving, 59 casualties? Innocent casualties, blaming it on Kimiko's brother. So he goes there, and Mallory's there as well. She asks Butcher to look into this long ago soup by the name of Liberty, and then she gives the location of Becca. Now that Butcher knows where Becca is, he only has her on his mind. He's only going to see her, doesn't care about anything else. So he kind of, leaves the group to go and find his wife. And then he leaves the job of finding this long ago soup by the name of Liberty to the rest of the group. So that's what the rest of the group does. The rest of the group goes and looks for Liberty. Well, actually, not Frenchie. MM and Huey, they go and look for Liberty. Or look for clues about Liberty. And I gotta say, this episode did indeed have woke dialogue in it. So we'll get to that when we get to that. So, Homelander, oh yeah, the first scene with Homelander in this episode, he goes to this, log cabin, and then he sees Madeline. At first I'm thinking, how the hell is Madeline alive? So, Madeline's there, very voluptuous, very revealing, trying to be close with Homelander, giving him milk and all that. And then it turns out, oh, remember that shape-shifting soup by the name of Doppelganger? Wow, I don't know if I would ever be that desperate. I don't know if I would ever do that, Let's say the woman I love died. We were close. She died, and then, there's a person out there, a man out there, with the power to shapeshift. I don't think I would ever ask a man shapeshifter to turn into the appearance of the woman I loved who died, just to still be close to her. I don't know. That'd be mad weird. Especially since it's a guy shapeshifter. Maybe if it was a woman shapeshifter, it'd be a different story. But that's not a topic for right now. So yeah, he's been seeing Doppelganger take the form of Madeline. So, Homelander, he also threatens to kill Starlight. Because, Homelander, he's not in control. He ordered Starlight to kill Huey, but she didn't. Understandably so, Annie's a little bit traumatized by that. You know, the most powerful man on the planet does want you dead from time to time, and he can do it at any time. So it's like, yeah, that's pretty stressful. Huey and Annie meet up at the park. They're just talking, and then says that they need to go and look for Liberty. Annie tags along. You know, they sing a song in the car road trip to wherever they're trying to find Liberty or clues to Liberty. They stop at this, like, diner. They share a nice meal. Huey disappears for some reason. It's not clear why. He just says, "I'll be right back," leaving and Annie to just sit and chat. Mentions his father and his father passing away like 16 years ago. But we don't get the full story. Not yet. That comes later in the episode. So it was just foreshadowing the story that we'll learn later on. So they get rooms at a motel. 2 rooms, so Huey decides to share a room with but snores like crazy. So instead, Huey and Annie meet up, and then they smash, which, like, good job, Huey. They make it to this lady's house, who, you know, had an encounter with Liberty in the past. So, in order to convince her to tell them about Liberty, her encounter with Liberty, tells the story of his father. His father, you know, was a lawyer trying to bring justice to, like, members in Vought. And then found his father dead in front of a typewriter for, you know, trying to fight Vought. Oh, the music's over. So this lady reveals her backstory and her encounter with Liberty. So Liberty, I didn't think about it, you know. I didn't piece it together in my mind because I wasn't really thinking. The name Liberty itself should have been a pretty big red flag. So Liberty is very much a racist. So this lady, her encounter was, so when she was young, her brother was driving her, she was in the back. Liberty stopped them and was completely racist to, you know, her brother, which, let's just mention this. The lady was black, meaning her brother was black. So, Liberty accusing this vehicle is stolen. Right? It's like, killed the guy for no reason, just because he was black. And then it's revealed, like, first of all, Huey's like, nobody's seen Liberty since, like, the 70s. No, I've seen Liberty. There she is, on the paper, it's Stormfront. Stormfront is Liberty. So, Vought basically has a white supremacist as a member of the Seven. But they don't know that. Nobody knows that until now. And that explains why she was so violent towards Kimiko's brother, even yelling like yellow trash when killing him. So that's crazy. That is a crazy development. I did not see that coming. the fact that Stormfront is a full-blown racist. Oh, wait till Homelander finds out. So, you know, like, I don't want to immediately pin that as woke. However, there is also this moment, you know, Homelander and Maeve were doing like this TV interview. And then the interviewer was like, let's talk about, what was it, white heroes or whatever. It's like, what'd she say, 70% of the soups that Vought employs are white? What'd she say, some sort of percentage are black, and then 1% each for Asians and Hispanics, I think she said. So it's like, why is Vought, like, why doesn't Vought want more diversity? It's like, oh my god, all this woke dialogue. Homelander's like, we actually have, you know, the Seven is diverse. We have A-Train, who's black. We have Black Noir, who, well, they don't identify with any race. And then Homelander just reveals to the world, we actually have a member of the Seven who's gay. Maeve right here. She is a full-blown lesbian. Oh yeah, and speaking of Black Noir, this was pretty funny. Black Noir is intimidating as hell. I'm not gonna lie, if I saw Black Noir, I'd be intimidated as fuck. Because Black Noir is not only really skilled, silent but deadly, you know, we've seen him be pretty prolific with not only weapons, but with a piano. He's also super strong. Remember a couple episodes ago, he literally ripped a guy's jaw in half with his own bare hands? Like, dude has strength. So I'd be terrified of Black Noir. Just like HR rightfully is. Because that lady, Black Noir showed up, not saying a word, and she's intimidated by him. Because Black Noir wants to find Butcher, and Black Noir just sits next to her watching her look for Homelander. Watching her look for Butcher. It's like, damn. And speaking of Butcher, well, Butcher finds Becca. They reconnect. Well, they connect body parts too. And then they start talking, you know? Becca actually reinforces the fact that, well, Homelander raped her, but it's like, I don't know, it looked kind of consensual on the security cameras, but if she says so, who am I to argue with it? So, Butcher wants Becca, not only wants Becca back, but wants her safe, so he devises a plan to get her and Ryan out. Ryan, just because, well, that's Becca's son. He can't just leave him behind. However, I knew that Butcher, he wouldn't want to take Ryan with him. Just because, well, let's face it. He even said himself, Ryan is a $1 million piece of property to Vought. As well as the fact that he's a superhero freak. And, well, he didn't need to say this part out loud, but you know exactly what he's thinking. Ryan's not his. He has no attachment to the kid. So, it makes sense he wouldn't want Ryan around. He only wants his wife around. I mean, can you blame the guy? Right? It's a little crazy to me that Butcher's... Actually, you know what? Never mind. I was about to say that Butcher is so forgiving to his wife for cheating on him, but it's like, that's only because, to me, on the security footage, it looked consensual. But, you know, if Becca's saying Homelander gave her no choice, then it's like, well, there's nothing really to forgive because it wasn't her fault. So, yeah, never mind. Well, Annie kind of breaks things off with Huey, saying, we can't do this, we can't ever let our guard down and be happy, given, the world they live in and the positions they're in. So she says goodbye to Huey. Well, I can only imagine that won't last long. Well, by the end of the episode, Homelander first confronts Stormfront. He actually is looking at a bunch of memes online saying Stormfront is better than him and Stormfront is now the face of the Seven, which completely triggers Homelander because, he's the face of Vought. He's the face of the Seven. He built the team from the ground up. So yeah, he confronts Stormfront about it. Man, I can't wait to see that clash between Homelander and Stormfront. Homelander goes back to that cabin where, shapeshifter doppelganger was. Not interested in Madeline anymore. Doppelganger turns into him. Turns into Homelander in a nightgown. And then, offers to suck Homelander's dick. So it's like you sucking your own dick off, but it's like it won't even be gay because it's yourself. For a moment, I thought he was actually going to go for it. I thought Homelander was really going to let that happen. But no, instead he really doubles down. It's like, I don't need anyone. I just need myself. And then he kills Doppelganger. Oh yeah, the end of the episode, we actually learn what's going on with those random-ass clips of women talking about relationships. It's actually the Deep's storyline. He's trying to, interview women for marriage. First of all, that's not how it works. So it's like, what a terrible storyline to insert into the episode. Because, what a terrible structure that added to the episode. There was also this hilarious moment with A-Train, who I cannot stand his guts. But I'm not gonna lie, this moment with A-Train did make me literally laugh out loud. So A-Train was very briefly in the episode. He walks by, Vought's lobby. He sees Shockwave there. Remember Shockwave? His rival? The person he raced in the first season? He sees Shockwave there. He goes to Ashley asking, what the hell is Shockwave doing here? She's just like, he's at Vought to discuss a brand new, marketing thing we have, to market to the kids, because apparently kids are getting obese. This line A-Train said literally made me laugh. He's just like, great, I fucking love fat kids. Use me. Don't use him, use me. I love fat kids. I'm not gonna lie, that actually made me laugh. But then Homelander comes in, it's like, did you tell him? You're out of the 7. You're out of the 7, A-Train. You think I don't know about your heart condition? So, it seems like A-Train has been kicked off of the 7. Which, yes! Good, I hate this guy. God, A-Train is such a douchebag. But obviously, this isn't the last we're gonna see of A-Train. We'll just have to see how he copes with being kicked out, how he copes with his rival basically replacing him and taking his spot. Will he, be a man of honor, take it swiftly, perhaps even try to better himself and earn his position back, or will he be completely petty and try to sabotage, try to go down more destructive path. We'll see. We'll see. I'm definitely not betting A-Train being a man of honor. And, well, that's basically the episode. Basically the episode of episode 4 for The Boys Season 2. Let's see what other music I can put on. Oh yeah, what was the name of that song again? Was it Mass Destruction? Yep. Alright, now that we're done talking about The Boys, let's talk about Arcane real quick. Because I don't think I'm going to stay for too long tonight. I think I'm just going to go until midnight, so about another half hour. So Arcane, episode 4 of season 1. Finally, we're getting into the show that I was more so expecting when I started. It took 3 episodes to really tell the backstory, because in episode 4, we jump forward in time. In fact, we jump quite a bit forward in time. I'm gonna guess it's been at least a decade jump forward in time, because now all the characters we've been following, they're all grown up now. Jace is grown up now. He has a 5 o'clock shadow. He has a Giga Chad chiseled jawline. They're celebrating something called Progress Day, which looks like is the entire city of, I don't know, Piltover, completely revolutionized with technology, with devices. Because thanks to Jace's Hex, what was it called again? Hex Tech, was that what it's called? Thanks to Jace's technology and inventions, he was able to modernize and revolutionize the city of Piltover, completely, you know, enriching it with technology. To the point, there was even, like, mechanical bugs flying around. I don't know if that's, you know, now a part of the nature, like, literally Mother Nature in the show, or if it was just that one guy doing it as party tricks to, you know, wow kids in the crowd. Because, like, yeah, they're celebrating something called Progress Day, celebrating Piltover's progression with technology, all thanks to Jace. You know, his friend Caitlyn, she's now, like, an enforcer. While our characters with, you know, Silco and them, they're still developing and shipping out vials of, I think they call it Shimmer. Shimmer, that purple Compound V Super Soldier Serum. You know, the city now has blimps and stuff. Blimps and other hovercrafts, other aircrafts to deliver goods or carry cargo. So while Silco's group is trying to move Shimmer, a bunch of these, like, I don't know, Green Goblin kind of characters show up and try to pillage, try to raid, intercept the shipment. Because, like, these guys were on hoverboards. They have sticky bombs that look like the Green Goblin's pumpkin bombs. Like, am I just watching Green Goblin? But anyways, they get ambushed by, you know, a more recognizable face and her markings. Because we actually see Jinx, or actually we see Powder, all grown up now. Now going by the name Jinx. And I gotta say, wow, Jinx, or Powder, looks exactly like she does when she was younger, just grown up. And what do I mean by that? You might be thinking, well, no shit, it's the same character, just grown up. So, no shit, she would look like her younger self, just grown up. What I mean by that is, like, you don't really see characters, especially in animation, you don't really often see animation characters grow up, right? When it comes to, like, animated characters, you really just see the same design over and over every single episode. Maybe the clothing changes, but, like, the overall face and character stays the same throughout the run of the show. You don't really see, you know, characters in animation grow up and drastically change in looks. And, you know, same kind of goes for, like, live action, too. Let's take, like, Carl Grimes. Carl looks almost nothing like he did from when he was first on screen to when he died. So, yeah, even though it's still Chandler Riggs, he looks almost nothing like he did when he was younger. And then, you know, when it comes to live action, you get child actors swapped out all the time. You get people who look similar enough, but it's slightly different enough to realize it's not the same actor. They look similar, but it's not the same. Right? So, when it comes to animation, you just don't really see characters, like young characters, grow up and drastically change. So, seeing Powder all grown up, it's like, wow, she really looks like how she looked when she was younger. She's just all grown up now. So yeah, seeing Jinx is just like, wow, she's all grown up now. She looks just like she did when she was younger. She's just grown up now. She actually looks like her younger self. Just grown up. You know what I mean? You just don't see it that often in animated shows. I mean, be honest. Have you seen Anya age even a day in the Spy X Family episodes? So anyways, now that we've seen Jinx all grown up, she's a little more, sporadic. And I gotta say, throughout the episode, there were moments where she got uncomfortably close to Silco. It was almost gross how close she would physically get to Silco. It's like, oh my god, did you raise her or did you groom her? It's like, oh my god, it's kind of gross how close she's getting to you. So yeah, you know, during the fight, she sees this like pink-haired girl and almost mistakes her for her sister, who tragically this whole time she believes abandoned her. It's just like this tragic story on both ends. Violet doesn't even know if her sister is alive or not, and Jinx believes her sister just abandoned her, not knowing she was taken away. So it's like, it's just a tragic storyline on both of their sides. It's going to lead to an inevitable clash of conflicts when they meet up again and they both get the wrong idea. So there was also this moment where Jinx almost like really lightly, really quickly stabs Silco's bad eye with shimmer. It's like, oh, that was painful to watch. But I wonder why. They never explained why they do that. Not yet, at least. So we find out that Jinx now, is much better at crafting her tools, crafting little exploding gadgets. And she's kinda lost her mind a bit. She now has, like, dummies in place that look like her old friends, Milo and Clagger, who, she unintentionally got killed. Like, she hears voices in her mind, she talks to herself now. It's like, damn. This girl has not lived a tragic-free life. On the other side, it's kind of hard to believe these characters haven't interacted yet. So, Jace and Victor, they're developing new shit. So, whatever that blue crystal thing is, which is like an unlimited power source, they've refined it to literally just a little marble. But it still has some kinks, it's still pretty volatile. So Professor Heimdinger is like, alright, I know you want to present this to the world, we got shareholders ready to see a brand new invention, but it's like, it's not time yet. Everyone wants Jace to present his newest invention, but on the night of the speech, he decides not to. In fact, Jace actually gets a seat on the council. So, yeah. Well, Caitlyn now as an enforcer, she sees fire in the middle of town. It turns out it was Jinx who set that as a trap to distract the enforcer so she can break in and steal Jace's work. Thus proving herself as not weak and useless to Silco by giving him that little marble thing that Jace developed, which is now a power source, a very great power source, albeit volatile. Anyways, there was that one scene early in the episode where Caitlyn arrests this one character who was a part of Silco's crew, left behind. She arrests him, so that guy's in prison. Caitlyn wants to go and speak to the inmate. However, in entering the prison, who does she pass by in a jail cell? None other than Vi. And then the episode ends. Did I miss anything about this episode? I might have missed something. That was like a very bare bones brief rundown. Alright, what else is there to listen to? What was this one again? Did I miss anything about the episode? You know what? I'm not opposed to listening to that song, but I suddenly want to hear this instead. I'm trying to think. Is there anything else I missed about the episode? Because, yeah, that was a pretty brief rundown. Damn, I can't believe it took 3 episodes to tell the backstory for us to finally get to, like, the main plot. Like, the present-day main plot. It's unclear how much time has passed. I'm going to assume a decade has passed. I don't want to go so far and say a couple of decades. You know, like 20 years have passed. Though it could have. I don't know. They didn't specify. Maybe a couple episodes down the line, they'll say how much time has been. You know, it's like Powder. Is that you? You're all grown up. I haven't seen you in like 15 years. I thought you abandoned me 15 years ago, something like that. So I'll have to see how much time has passed. Oh yeah, also, like, the underground city looks completely different now. Instead of Vander's bar, it turned into, like, a nightclub. I'm really trying to think. Is there anything I missed? Ugh. Well, because I can't really think of anything. Let's talk about the next... Oops. Let's talk about the next episode of Secret Level, and I don't really know how I'm supposed to talk about this episode. This one, episode 5? Wait, is that right? Episode 5? Yeah, episode 5. Warhammer 40,000. So I know nothing about Warhammer. It is yet another game I've never played before. But at least I've heard of this one. Isn't Warhammer the game that Henry Cavill's into? So yeah, another game franchise I have absolutely no idea about, but at least I've heard about it, you know? I never heard about New World or stuff like that. I believe I may have actually heard of Unreal Tournament before, but I've never really seen anything of it. So anyways, how do I even break this episode down? We have these couple of guys in, you know, thick Hulkbuster armors. They get sent from this, like, space station onto a planet. They fight a whole bunch of enemies and aliens. Constantly dragging along this cargo, this box with chains. They constantly drag that with them. And by the end of the episode, where they use that, I don't even understand why. Like, what was even the point? I will admit, though, at least that one scene where it's completely dark and they completely fight off a bunch of creatures with bioluminescent, glow-in-the-dark blue blood, and that's like the only thing that lights up the scene. I'm not gonna lie, that was pretty cool. That was a pretty cool scene to watch. You know, the last third of the episode, the box that they were dragging along, they gave it to this, like, I don't know, this sorcerer guy, I guess, trying to enchant something. But he gets killed. They arrive at this, like, skeleton of a dragon. And then this demonic demon monster spawning from the dragon skeleton. First of all, kills that guy, and then makes a couple of the characters die of fear. But one knows no fear, so instead he kills that monster, completely cutting it in half, exposing all of its glow-in-the-dark blue blood. You know, these guys, they've served their duty now. They can now die in peace. But no, they can't just yet. It's not over yet. There are armies approaching. They still need to fight. And then, the episode ends. I didn't understand this episode. So far, the only episodes that have been a miss for me are episode 1, Dungeons, Dragons, and this, episode 5, Warhammer. You know, I like the Sifu episode. The New World episode with that king, while I didn't really know the source material, it was a fun episode. Unreal Tournament, that was actually a pretty good episode. I actually liked that quite a bit. So yeah, there you go. I don't really know much about Warhammer. I don't know anything about the characters, about the storyline, about the lore. So, I don't really know how to break this episode down. That's like the most bare bones TLDR I can give for the episode rundown. You know, for someone who doesn't understand what's happening. So basically, like, 10 more minutes and then I'll call it for tonight. I basically just sat here for 2 hours talking to myself. Give me a second. Alright. So in like 30 seconds, I'm about to finish my third picnic for more Zorua eggs. Yeah. Oh, thankfully, this will be the last Hisuian form I will need to breed for. Alright, 3 picnics are done. Now, time to hatch all these eggs. Hoping at least one of them will be shiny. Because that's my life right now. That's the life I've chosen. Well, since you guys made it to the end of this, right? Anyone who ever gets to the end of this, you get to hear a special story. A funny story. That, is just a story. Don't take this as factual. Because, So, last night when we were out for dinner, my friends and I, a friend of mine, he was asking us, like, because this is what a group of guys our age talks about at any given point. Dating, relationship, chicks. So, a friend of mine, he asked us, while, during dinner, he asked, like, what's your age range? Like, what's the oldest, or what's the youngest you're willing to date, How many years older or younger than you are you willing to date? So then he himself misspoke, okay? Misspoke. And he said, alright, so for me, be 14. So he misspoke and said 14, and we were all laughing our minds. We were all, laughing to tears. He misspoke, okay? So, what he meant to say was, 4 years. His limit would be 4 years. So, like, 4 years older, 4 years younger. Right now at our age, 4 years younger would put that at, like, 19 to 20. Which is over 18, which is legal, okay? So, like, yeah. He was trying to say the youngest, and well, I think that he was trying to say the youngest. The youngest he would date would be like 4 years younger, so around like 19 to 20. However, the funniest thing, is like I said, because he misspoke, he was trying to say 4 years younger, he misspoke and said, he would date someone 14, and then he immediately caught himself, like, wait a second, I didn't mean to say that. We were all laughing our minds out of our heads. Like me, I was laughing so much, and I am not letting him live that down. I'm gonna bring that joke up all the time. It's like, oh, your true nature has come out now. Because, when you misspeak, isn't that the truth coming out? So now it's like, are you sure? Are you sure that's the age range you're interested in, buddy? It's like, oh, you got another date? Is she a little too old for your liking? I'm just gonna tease him now. From now on. It's just jokes, okay? Keep in mind, it's just jokes. He's not actually into 14-year-olds, so please don't take this seriously. He simply misspoke, okay? You gotta be careful when it comes to the internet, because everyone will be butthurt over the smallest thing. Because God forbid you misspeak or you make a joke. So yeah, I'm gonna tease him with that for a very long time. There's a reason why I saved this particular story for the very end, because no one will ever see this. No one will ever hear this. Well, I'm gonna end soon in like 2 more resets. I'll do one last reset. Alright, no shinies tonight. Well, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you guys next time. Okay, bye.